Hello, everyone. So, very good evening, all of you, and thank you for joining. I could see 7 members. That's good. We can get it started, I believe. Yes, we all know we are, in the track of discussing around 25 different AWS projects. That is our ultimate goal. Today going to be our fifth project. Okay. So a few of them, I think, joined newly. For the people, those who joined newly, right? So far, we have completed 4 projects. If you want, I can share you the recordings. All right. But today, we are predominantly going to talk about the fifth project. Okay. So the people who watching from YouTube, right? This particular project, I have mentioned the WhatsApp channel link with this video description. You can click on it. You can join it, and yeah, probably you guys can start attend the live session. Okay, that is what the action plan. Okay, so now I've enabled people to unmute and talk. Okay, so if you wanted to make any questions or any doubts, we can feel free to discuss here. All right, so before getting started, anyone has any doubt on the previously discussed 4 projects? Anurag, I think I missed you last session. You have not joined, I believe, project 4. Anurag, you are able to hear me? Not sure. Maybe he'll come when he has some doubt, right? He'll come.
Hi,
Okay.
Prakash.
Hi, Satya.
Yes, Satya this said. Can we showcase this project as a real-time experience?
Yeah, that is the reason we are discussing. So
Yes, because
whatever the
I
project we are
want,
discussing here, that you can mention in your resume. Also, you
okay.
can present during your interview. When interviewer, this is a common question, right? Can you tell about the recent project you worked? So that case,
Yes.
you can explain this, POC to them. That is the reason we made 25 different projects. Out of 25, so far we completed 4. This is the fifth one.
Okay.
If you want to, add any of these projects, any 3 to 5 projects, you can mention in your resume.
Yeah, okay, Prakash. Thanks for your contribution.
Sure. So the session is totally free. No need to pay anything for that. So feel free to attend and ask your doubt if you have anything. Okay. Every weekend, exactly Saturday, 7 to 8 p.m. Not it will not take 1 hour. 30 minutes would be enough. Yes, this discussion gonna happen. All right. So I think we can get it started. So today we are going to talk about a very important, role-based authentication being followed in every project today. We cannot, ignore this. Every project, if you go nowadays, the people are using this strategy. Okay. So what this strategy is all about? This is something called AWS SSO role-based authentication for secure access control. Secure access control in multi-cloud environment. I think we have discussed about the AWS organization and all our previous projects. So where we talked about what is the reason we are having a multiple individual AWS account in the live project. We discussed it. In that same flow, if I'm talking about role-based authentication, see, imagine in your project you are having a 50 AWS account. Roughly, I'm telling 50 individual AWS accounts. 10 accounts are production, 20 accounts are pre-prod, 20 more accounts are development purpose you are using. Like roughly around 50 different accounts are there. If you are still using IAM user to authenticate to that each and every account, it's not the easiest one, right? So each 50 account, you should be having your own IAM user should be present to log into that account and managing it. That's not the easiest way. When you go to actual live real project, right? People already, we know when you have a huge accounts, okay, people used to follow the strategy of AWS organization. Since they follow the AWS organization, here role-based authentication playing a crucial role. For this, right, from the AWS, they have officially given, there is a service called AWS SSO. Now, recently, the service name has been updated, AWS Identity Manager. Okay, this Identity Center. Using that service, right, we would able to manage it. Maybe if you want, I can show you this. If I go to my AWS console, this is my AWS console. When you come to AWS console, right, you can search for the service. I think it's asking me to log in again. Yeah, let me log in and I'll show you. So when for the security reason, right, I just paused my screen because I need to type my credentials. Okay, so actually I have logged into this account already. Correct time it's got logged out. Okay, okay. I think now, yeah, I've logged into that AWS account. In that account, right, when you search for AWS SSO, when you search for SSO, you should be able to see the very first service. Manage workforce user access to multiple AWS account and cloud application. This is the service, AWS Identity Center. So what is the benefit of this AWS Identity Center? Okay, I'll tell you. Let me draw an architecture diagram for this. Imagine you have one AWS master account. AWS master account where you have enabled the AWS organization service. Organization service has been enabled here. Okay. So here, if we can see, we will be also enabling the identity center, the AWS SSO one, right? We will be also enabling the one another stuff, something called AWS SSO, or you can call it as a AWS Identity Center. Okay. Okay, due to space issue, I'm putting it in the shortcut. Okay. So either you can, earlier it was calling it as AWS SSO, AWS Center. Now in your AWS environment, right, you having a account like this, account 1, account 2, account 3, account 4, account 5, like various accounts are there. These are all individual AWS accounts. Okay, AWS account 1, AWS account 2, AWS accounts 3. Okay, likewise, you have a 50 different AWS account there with you. Okay, like that, you have a 50 different AWS accounts are there. Now, if this identity center is not there, how people used to log in each and every account, right? They'll have to create a IAM user. They will have to log into each and every account. Okay, that is it. No, it's not the easiest one. Okay, that is the reason today project, what are we going to implement is objective. Implement AWS SSO with the role-based access control or back. Okay, we are going to implement AWS SSO with our role-based access control to manage user authentication and secure access to multiple AWS accounts. Okay, so by enabling this SSO, right, we can ensure even though you have a 50 AWS account, we can ensure role-based access control has been enabled for user authentication and secure way of accessing your AWS, multiple AWS accounts. That's our target. Ensuring that each user only access to resource-based role assigned, improving security and compliance and operational efficiency. Which means that people who ever log in, there are multiple people are there right now who are there in the meeting. Okay, we can take Abhishek Gupta, we can take Ashwin, we can take Alan. So the necessary people will be belongs to that particular team only. For an example, we have a groups available. Okay, so there are some teams are there, something like developer. Okay. So we have a team such as development team, and we have a team such as system admin. Okay, we have a team such as monitoring. Like we have a three different teams are there. Maybe if we can calculate, right? People who all belongs. Those guys are part of this team. Maybe Abhishek. Okay, Ashwin. Okay, Ellen. Okay, all these people are belongs to the development team. Gopal, Prakash. These people are belongs to system admin team. Monitoring, Sagar, Sam. So these people belongs to monitoring. Like that, various set of people are there. So using SSO organization, what we supposed to do? The necessary people will have a permission to that respective role only. The necessary people will have a access to that respective role only. Accordingly, we need to set up a role-based authentication. Unnecessarily, we are not going to provide any additional privilege to this guys. Okay, that is our target. Okay, hope the requirement is clear. Let's see how we are going to implement this. Okay, so I have a 50 plus AWS accounts are there. There are three major departments team working to access all these AWS account. I don't want to create a user account for all the members individually. Instead, by the help of AWS SSO or Identity Center, we are going to centrally enable the authentication strategy. Okay, so by doing this, we don't need to worry about account security, user authentication. Okay, and need not to worry about each and every account. I need to create a user for separately for Abhishek, separately for Ashwin, separately for Ellen Gobai. No need to worry about it. Okay, so anyone has any doubt in this requirement? What we're going to implement now?
No, sir. For whether all of these teams members are using to sign in using a single sign on like that, sir.
All these member can access entire environment. All 50 plus accounts they can access because all the 50 plus AWS accounts are from same project. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so all 50 accounts, right? Usually, how you will do, Ashwin? You will go for example, you have your own free tier account. You will log into
Yes.
your IAM service. You will create one user for Hari. You will create one user for Abhishek. Likewise, you will do. Imagine if you have a 50 account, all 50 account, you cannot go and create a users individually, right? All 50 accounts. It will be very much difficult, correct?
Mm-hmm.
In that case, in one central place, you have a AWS master organization account, is that right? Go ahead and enable AWS SSO. That is recently updated as an identity center. Here you create a group, okay, link all the accounts to organization. By default, all the accounts are linked to the organization already. So whenever you create a group here, right, it will automatically sync to all 50 accounts. So everyone can log in. Okay, now I'm going to tell you the steps, how to enable, how to set up this. By doing this, right, for all 50 account, you need not to worry about IAM, user creation and managing the permission, nothing. Everything you can handle in one central place in your organization. It will sync to all 50 accounts.
Okay.
Okay, good question. So if all of you good, so I'm continue to explain how to implement this. Okay, so basically, right, key component. First, we need to set up the AWS SSO configuration. So for that, what we need to do, already in your environment, right, there will be a provider. Everyone should be having it in your project. You cannot say no. In your project, if you go, there will be someone called uh, identity provider, IDP. Okay, IDP stands for okay, in short form, I'm mentioning identity provider. What are the identity providers? Are there many people are there? Okay, on-prem, domain controller, or we can say Azure, Active Directory, any other LDAP service. It could be any identity provider. When you join into any company, right, you are getting the email ID and organization login ID and all, right? Everything was created from any one of this on-prem controller Active Directory only. If you are onboarding to any project, maybe imagine any company you are newly joining in, you will get the user ID. Using that user ID only, you will log into your local laptop itself. Correct? Your local laptop itself, you would be able to log in using that credential only. Where these credentials being created? These credentials are being created by any one of the identity providers. It could be from on-prem domain controller or Azure Active Directory or any other DevOps, LDAP providers. If you go, I have an architecture diagram. So like this. Okay, anyone provider should be there. Okay, IDP, identity provider. From here, right, what we will do, we will enable the trust and sync. From here, we'll enable the trust and sync. We'll enable the SAML trust. Okay, by enabling it, right, what is the benefit? Whatever the users are available. Okay, whatever the users are available, they will be get synced over here. The pool of users and group, right, they will be get synced over here. users and group, right? Got synced to your particular master AWS organization account. Okay, they'll be get synced to your master AWS organization account. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, since I'm running out of space, let me expand the space a little bit. Okay. Okay, cool. So once users are being synced over here, you need to create a role. Okay, what are the role you will create? You need to create a roles. You need to create a roles. What are the roles you will create? You've already created the roles. The roles are whatever the role you needed, something like a developer role, something like a system admin role, something like a monitoring role, you need to create it. That's what they are telling here. If you come over here, okay, first central user management, SSO, AWS SSO allows centralized management for user identity for multiple account. So from your identity provider, anyone it could be Active Directory or Azure Active Directory or Okta. Many providers are there. From there, right, you need to sync all the user to AWS master account. Okay, that is what they are telling over here. Once the sync has happened, next step you need to start enable the RBAC. You need to configure the role-based access control. For that, what you need to do? First, you need to create the roles and permission set. Okay, what does mean by role and permission set? Roles are the developer role, system admin role, monitoring role. These roles can be differ from project to project. We cannot say this is the only particular role available. It depends on the environment, depends on the project, it will vary. But most standardly, we'll be having developer role, system admin role, monitoring role. So developer mostly, right, what are the service they will access? A developer used to work on, they'll be working on what kind of services they'll work. If people has input, you can unmute and tell, okay, no issues. Developer mostly, they'll work on EC2, S3, and what other role? Lambda and cloud formation. Okay, these kind of services they'll work. System admin, right? Almost all the role they'll work above roles plus they'll addition to work SNS, ACS, something like that. Any other services? Okay, cloud watch, cloud trial. Okay, so like all this monitoring, right? Completely read only access. Read only access. So these all the permissions actually. These all the permissions. Okay, each role will be getting it. What color will take? We will take maybe this color. So yeah, that's what I'm telling. Each and everyone, right, will be having this particular permissions. Okay, each role will have this permission. These permissions are technically called as in AWS something called permission set. These are technically called as permission set in AWS. Okay, so what we need to do? We need to create a permission set. You need to create a permission set. What are the permission set we are going to create? These are the permission set we are going to create. Make sense? Anyone has any doubts so far? First step, what I have done from the identity provider. Every organization by default will be having the identity provider. From that, I am using the trust. I am syncing the users and group over here. In the AWS organization under the identity center, once I enabled this feature, once I enabled this, right, what I'll do, I'll create a role, whatever I want. For role, right, I'll add the users and group. Whoever want, I can add them. And permission set, right, literally like what services they're going to exactly access. Those things I'm going to configure. Those things I'm going to configure it. Okay, that's what they are telling over here also. So what you need to do, come over here, AWS SSO, RBAC, define a permission set based on the role. Developer system admin security. Instead of security, I use monitoring. Okay. So and align with specific access policy. Each permission set determine the level of access to specific. Example, developer can have this many EC2 full access, S3 cloud formation. Okay, system admin, access all the service to production and non-production account, monitoring account. Security, you'll have access to cloud trial, guard duty, IAM policies, these kind of permissions will be there. Like that, I need to create a permission set. Okay, Then assign role to user. Once I created the role, assign the permission set, then we need to map who all belongs to developer, who all belongs to system administrator. Those things I need to map. Okay, Abhishek, Ashwin, once I created a permission set, once I created a role, right, then I need to map the user. Users are already synced. I can just check the checkbox. So users are being mapped to this role. Okay, very next step, automate the user lifecycle management. Okay, whenever any employee joining the organization, anybody newly joining in my organization, automatically, see, let's take an example, any person like Syed. Okay, there is a guy called Syed who newly joining in my company. There is a guy called Syed. He'll newly joining in my company. So what we will do, organization will be creating a user account for Syed. And as soon as he created the user account, that will be get synced to the user. Okay, you can add him in any one of this role. You can add him in any one of the role. By adding it, right, all the roles are will be synced to this particular. All the role will be synced to from the identity center. All the roles, right, will be synced to all the accounts. By the way, since all the accounts are created from AWS organization only. Okay, the roles whatever you are created, that will be synced to all these particular AWS accounts. Okay, whatever the role you have created, right, that will be synced to all these accounts. Okay, once as soon as you created, you will be adding in. It will be synced over here. You will be adding into the necessary role. By that way only, this AWS organization, right, will provide you dedicated URL for you. Okay, AWS SSO will provide you dedicated URL for you. Example like, if I go to Google, AWS SSO login. Okay, it will be like this. It will be like this. This image is not clear. I'll show you some other. Yeah, maybe it will be like this. Okay, this is the console for single sign-on. Okay. Okay, I think this document clearly explains. At end of day, you'll create the assign. See, you will be assigning a user to the particular AWS account. How we are assigning dev account one, production account to all these things, will enable the checkbox. Okay. So as soon as you assign, right, yeah, it looks like this. For that particular user called Martha, he has accounts to access to 4 particular accounts. So he is listing down all the things. Okay, dev account, he has the role. Prod account, he has the role. So he will be getting the URL. When he browse the URL, each and everybody will be receiving with this particular role. You can click on this particular role, management console. If you select this management console, you will be able to log into that particular role. If you want to generate a CLI one, if you click on this, you will get the access key, secret key, you can use it. All 50 accounts, right, will be displaying over here. This is the login URL for you. Okay, that is what they are telling even over there. If you go there, we need to automate the life cycle. Cross account, we have multiple AWS organization. By enabling this, right, user SSO enable you the seamless role-based access to all your AWS account within an AWS organization. Okay, here they will select it actually. Here they will select it. If you go to the previous step, okay, they will select it whether for all account or root account or which all the account you want to enable the permission, the particular role. Okay, which all the account you need to enable it. Here you will select it. Okay, so these are your different permission set creation. Okay, here you will create the permission set. Permission set creation as similar like your AWS policy creation only. Okay, and MFA, when you enable it, whenever you are logging to any particular thing, it will ask for the MFA. So everyone, it's mandated to enable the MFA. Okay, so outcome of this project would be like simple. From the identity provider, from Active Directory or Azure Active Directory, from the AWS organization master account, what we will do, we will enable the AWS SSO. I mean, today it is called as identity center. So users are being synced to the this particular pool. From here, right, we will create the role. We'll create the role. We'll map the role to account, whichever the account this real role need to be available, right? I'll map it. So we will add the users also to that particular role. So what kind of permission they will access for that, we'll create the permission that will map to the role. By that way, right, end of day, AWS SSO going to give you a login URL. When you select that login URL, right, it will display all the accounts, okay, whichever the role you are part of. So you would able to log in the single page. By implementing this SSO, right, first advantage is role-based access control has been enabled. Point one, you don't need to create an individual IAM user for each and every account separately. You don't need to create an individual AWS IAM user separately. It will be an ethic task. When you have a 50 plus AWS account, if you are creating all IAM users, that is an ethic task. This is going to be the industry standard as of today. Okay, whatever you are seeing in the screen, this is the industry standard as of today. Okay. So outcome would be the project improves the security and operation efficiency, centralizing user access management, enforcing the role-based authentication across multiple AWS accounts. So we are enforcing it across the multiple 50 plus AWS account. We are implementing role-based one. AWS SSO ensure user have appropriate access based on their role, which automated provisioning and deprovisioning manual workload. So every user's right will have appropriate permission. One account I have a higher privilege, another account I have lower privilege. Tomorrow I wanted to change the permission also in one place. In a permission set, if you update means all 50 account, it will be get updated. Okay. You would able to even manage it, monitor it using Cloud Trial, CloudWatch, all those things. Okay. This is the actual architecture diagram. Okay, whatever I have drawn over here, same thing only over here also. The identity provider, here they have shown example from Azure Active Directory. From Azure Active Directory, from the SAML Trust, they are syncing. So this is the AWS root account. Root account in the sense, your master account. Okay, so users are being synced to this pool, user groups, everything will be available over here. You will create the permission set and you will create the role. Whenever you create the role, this is the AWS account 1, this is the AWS account 2. You will select it. Okay, this role I am selecting, this account, all these things you will select it. By that way, right, the authentication works. End of day, you will be getting one login URL. Whenever you select that account, you will be logged to that particular account. Okay, in centralized way, we can manage the authentication mechanism in very secure way. This is the industry standard. If you go for any interview, people are asking what kind of authentication strategy you uses. Since you are telling you have 50 plus accounts available in your project, what kind of authentication strategy works? The answer is yes, we have identity provider. From there, we have enabled the AWS Identity Center, which means AWS SSO in master account. From there, we have a necessary roles and permission sets are being created. End of day, right? My SSO provides me a login URL. When I click on it, I'll be able to log into any one of this account. That's how we have configured the role. So it depends upon the team. We have various roles are available, such as developer, system admin, security, monitoring. So based upon the role, our role, what we play in the project, will be added into the particular role. So by that way, right, we can log into all the AWS account. So this is how you need to answer them. Okay. So this is what today project, guys.